Guys. Alright, guys, so I'm going through this divorce, as you all know. Told my husband, if he really still wanted a divorce, I would honor that. And then what do I get today? I get even more emails from Kevin Leandro. I had told him before to take his tail and go run with his tail between his legs. So I get these messages today, all because I told him I was going to appeal, which the court said I can. The court said I can appeal the judge's decision if I don't like what I see. And today I get this email. I tried to teach you, but you can't appeal things and you can't do this. And I tried to have you learn. So then he's like, I don't know what is wrong with this guy. I honestly don't. He's like, I'm a decorated Marine, he says before. He says, oh, I've done this and I've done that, and, I'm a good shot. And then I said, well, my father and brother could beat you any day of the week, because he bragged about being a gunslinger and beat me. He's like, I beat you. And I'm just an old retired gunslinger. And I'm like, I didn't even really try hard. And I didn't try that hard during this divorce. All I did was put objections in. That's all. I didn't spend any money on anything. And, I didn't, if I really wanted to be him, I would have had an attorney, etc. So, I'm like, what are you boasting about? You're just boasting that you used to be good at shooting a gun? So what? Is that all you can boast about? I'm like, my father and brother could beat you any day of the week. And that's because I was always proud of how my father shot and my brother shot. And I've talked about how when I was growing up, I was known as Dickie's girl and my father was known as Killer Number One because he was so good at shooting, right? So then he goes on to brag about himself again. Not only does he say, oh, I'm going to bring you to court for things you said that are libel. There's nothing here in my channel that I have said under freedom of speech that I haven't found to be true about him. So then I get this email like this, okay? It says, by the way, I'm sure your father and brother are good shots. I myself was once a competitive marksman. But that doesn't mean anything because targets don't shoot back! Exclamation mark. And I'm thinking, what is that supposed to mean? Did I say that my father and brother cannot shoot in a way that, when they go and shoot, they're shooting at moving targets? And yeah, you're in warfare. And it's not the exact same thing, but it doesn't mean that my father and brother, because they're such good shots, could not shoot somebody if they had to, right? So then he goes on about how great he is. And let me see if I can get this again, because I took a snapshot of this and sent it to somebody. And then he says, your comparison is foolish and shows how much you have no clue what you're talking about. Maybe I should look up your father and brother. Maybe they would enjoy shooting on my private rifle range. Now, this is in the context of, first of all, he doesn't even have a relationship with my father or brother. The context is he's putting down that basically he can shoot better than them because he's been in war. And now he's saying maybe I ought to give them a call basically to see, let's see who can shoot better basically, right? Let's see about this. And so he later goes on to change the context of this and saying, I said, that's it, you're not going to threaten my family. I'm like, it's one thing to come after me, but you are not going to F around with my family. Don't even try it, buddy, basically, right? So he goes on to be like, "Oh, I wasn't threatening your family. I've never threatened your family." He just threatened me too, saying that he's going to maybe tell my father things I've said about him, which I don't have a problem with anything I've said. And then he goes so far as to make a threat that basically he can shoot better than my family. This guy is out of bounds. He's like, "Oh no, I was just saying, because your dad shoots and I shoot, it might be a good thing we have in common." This is not what he meant at all. He meant, let's see who's the better shot, right? He's got nothing to do with my family. My family, my father, would he shoot with him? Probably not. Would my brother shoot with him? I don't think so. And to use my family as a weapon against me in a divorce case, we're talking about divorce here. We're not talking about, oh, let's hang out and go shooting together. We are talking about a divorce case where, for some reason, Kevin has gone and made this personal and been like, I actually am a great Marine and I've been decorated and this and that. And I'm like, you know what? You're a liar. You lied in court about perjury. You want to, sue me for libel? Go right ahead and we'll talk about your perjury in court. So that's a big crime. And I said, you're not as good as you think you are. I don't care if you're a Marine or not. This is your character. You are a liar. You've lied about everything in the court, everything about me. And so now he wants to go after my family. He wants to what? Compete with my brother and my father with a shoot. That is very threatening to me. And I don't put up with that bull. I'm like, you're having a restraining order now. I'm not putting up with your bull crap about now bringing my family into this. So it's one thing for my husband to have said, I want a divorce. I'm not happy. I don't know why I'm not happy. I think I'd be happier not married. But instead, he lashes out at me for a year and a half. He gets this non-attorney who doesn't know what he's doing. And then the non-attorney, Kevin Leandro, thinks it's okay to start talking and going after my family, basically. To go after my family and be like, oh, I think I might look them up. Why would you do that? Why would you look up my family in a divorce case? So he has gone way out of bounds. And I said, you're having a restraining order. And then he's like, oh, you know what? He's like, you're having a no contact order in court. I haven't contacted my husband. My husband actually wrote handwritten notes to me when he is not supposed to have communication with me. And then Kevin lies again and says, hey, this handwritten envelope is what it was. When I say letters, it's actually the handwritten envelopes. He says, hey, he's just helping me. And it's like, he has not been doing any kind of writing on envelopes. Kevin made it clear, write to me, do not write to him on the envelopes. And so now my husband has had contact, on the envelopes, and he doesn't need to. This is Kevin's job, right? So it would have been better if my husband said, look, I just want a divorce and I'm taking the blame. It's on me. I was not happy. I pushed you. I verbally abused you emotionally. I told you I'm going to kick your ass, etc., etc. And rather than accepting the blame that he did, he denied it and he made this whole thing worse. So, yeah. I mean, fight for yourself, ladies. Stick up for yourself. And the other thing is, he's like, Kevin just goes on and on about, oh, you did this and you did that. The guy he just did not do a very good job. He's not even a very good friend to my husband because my husband has gained so much weight. He's bottled it up. A real friend would offer my husband real help and real counsel and say, look, you're really lashing out a lot. Just accept responsibility. Just say you want a divorce. Don't drag Melissa through the mud. don't, And then Kevin's like, oh, you even said, you told the court, a family court, that you wanted him to go to jail for 2 years for pushing you. And, not exactly what I said, but I did bring out that he did push me. And the reason why I have not worked really hard at this is because, um, number one, my husband can divorce if he wants to. It's up to him. Number two, I don't really deal with courts as far as like I don't have a criminal record. I've never been really in court except once. No, once over the landlord and once to support someone. So I don't really know the in and outs of everything with court, and I'm okay with that compared to Kevin, who knows, a lot about the court because he's been in court. So I don't have a problem with being innocent when it comes to evil. I don't go around suing people. I don't go around bringing frivolous cases to people, in the court. So we have 2 more days. The court knows that Kevin is threatening me. He's threatening me with my family now. And yeah, so that's what's going on, and it's not acceptable. And if he thinks he's going to mess around with my family, he better think again, because he better not even think of going near my family to get back at me.